If you can brew it, Chad can review it. It's time for Chad's Beer Reviews. He's not quite an amateur, not quite a connoisseur, but regardless of the brewer, he's got taste in beer for sure.
You can tell just by his gut, this guy is a bona fide beer nerd.
So whether it's a porter or an IPA, whether it's from Europe or the USA, if you can brew it, Chad can review it. It's time for Chad's Beer Reviews.
Hey, welcome to an episode of Chad's Beer Reviews. Trying to clear these winter seasonals out of my fridge. This is K-9 Cruiser by Flying Dog. They're a craft brewery out of Denver. Although they make a point of saying on the bottle that it might have been subcontracted out of Frederick, Maryland. Does anybody know what breweries in Frederick, Maryland? I don't know. Doesn't really say much about the beer on the bottle. 6.4% ABV, 30 IBUs. Looked up online, it's considered a winter warmer. Didn't get very good ratings on Rate Beer and Beer Advocate, but I mean, it's, you know, Flying Dog's supposed to be a pretty decent brewery from what I know. I like the cap, I like that color of blue and the logo. So I'm going to try the old quarter on the cap thing to preserve it. Bent it all, just around the edges. Let's get to pouring here. I'm using one of the Nachel pint glasses I got when I was in Iceland. I got a nice thick head there. It's like, what, 2 fingers, a little over 2. It's like a straight up copper color. Looks kind of like an Oktoberfest. Pretty effervescent. Got most of the carbonation out, it looks like. The head's like a really off-white, very kind of foamy, kind of soapy. It smells like a typical winter warmer. I noticed some kind of citrusy spices in here. I'm not sure if it's made with orange peel and coriander. It's, you know, it's kind of smells like that. So most of them just getting kind of a maltiness. So I don't notice any bitterness in here, unless that's like a hop kind of citrus. I don't know. Alright, let's dive in. Oh, okay. Up front, I did get a pretty malty sweetness, a little bit of like a spiciness, actually a lot of spice. It is kind of like a citrusy thing, but it's more of like a cinnamon, maybe ginger, and then it follows with like a pretty like a dry bitterness, but it's not too intense. It feels very syrup-like in the mouth. It's very thick. And like kind of like a rich sweetness. It's not like that, you know, artificial flavor, sugary candy sweetness. It feels very genuine. And that bitterness really lingers. You know, it's only 30 IBUs. It seems a little bit higher than that. It goes down pretty smooth. It's, yeah, even though it's thick in the mouth, it's pretty easy to drink. It's pretty robust beer though. You know, I can just tell it's a pretty big beer just from these few sips that I've had already. You know, like this little spicy palate they got going here. You know, it's pretty spicy, but it's not something too intense or too ridiculous or anything. It's pretty well balanced. I think it said what malts and hops they use on their webpage, but I can't remember off the top of my head right now. So, you know, I've been drinking my beers way too fast lately, so I'm gonna take a break for once and sip on this, and we'll be back with my final thoughts. Hey, I'm back, finishing up with the K-9 Cruiser. To me, this is a pretty solid winter warmer. I mean, it's not anything that like really blows me away, but it's not bad at all. So I even really don't have that much to say about it. I mean, it's like I said, it's pretty standard. I mean, you get like a nice sweetness up front. Maybe a little bit of like a raisin or kind of like a breadiness in there. Like it's very malty. It's like a rich sweetness, so it's not too intense. And then it finishes like with a really dry bitterness, and like it definitely leaves a dry aftertaste. But I mean, the drinkability on it is pretty high. 6.4% doesn't feel or taste that heavy, so it's a pretty good beer. So I'm gonna give this a 7. 7 is just a good beer for me. So Flying Dog K-9 Cruiser Winter Ale, 7 out of 10. It's a good beer. So that does it for this episode. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Somebody brewed it, Chad just reviewed it. Thanks for watching Chad's Beer Reviews.
Trust me, the next episode will be a lot better.